Okay, so we're going to start this morning in a very basic way, pretty traditional. We'll begin in a wide child's pose. So bring your feet together and bring your knees out wide. And if you've got any ankle or feet issues, you know you can always go onto your back and reverse this. It's called Supta Baddha Konasana, and you would just lay on your back. You know, Kristen prefers that. So just find something that you can breathe and be calm in for a few cycles of breath. When you come into this child's pose, cup your fingertips, right? So your arms are really lifted. See if you can bring your front of the forehead down and just breathe a few cycles of breath. And don't get too caught up on like, am I breathing properly? Am I breathing enough or not enough? Just feel your breath. Just begin to feel your breath. And those cupped fingertips, then take your hands and get the palms flat if you can. And if you need to, you just slide blocks underneath or you make it less of a reach. Let your seat move all the way back to your heels if you're in this child's pose with me. Find extensions. My arms are really active. The rest of my body is relaxed. And I've always said this for the past 20 years of teaching, this pose is yours. All these poses are yours. So if you need to revisit child's pose 15 times during the practice, because that's what you need, take it. There's no judgment. From here, walk the hands underneath, curl the toes into the mat, and find your way to your first downward facing dog. Take a few moments to set up your dog so it works for you today. Feet are approximately hips width distance. My hands are almost as wide as the mat. I always check in with my index fingers and make sure that they're forward. The creases of the wrists are forward. These are all the little things that I need you to check because I can't see your whole body in your little Zoom box. Bend behind your knees as much as you need. Lift your hips up off your shoulders. Plug down to create energy right here. So the breath that we're going to focus on is Ujjayi breathing. Inhalation is through the nose, through the back of your throat. Exhale also through your nose without opening your mouth, through the nose. Wrap your shoulders away from you. Feel your outer triceps and biceps begin to kind of grip under and in. Spread your toes wide. And continue that flow of breath. And sometimes just holding this dog is challenging. Let the head go. Start to focus on a drishti point, a focal point, something that you can kind of capture and hold your attention to for a few breaths. And you may find that that breath moves. Just a few more breaths. Focus on the sides of your body and really in lifting that, like the sides of your body up. On the next exhale breath, roll forward to a plank. And from my down dog to plank, I generally have to walk it out for the first one to kind of find that sweet spot. So if that's you too, join me in that. Stack your body, shoulders over elbows, over wrists. And no, you can always support. So if you just come from a long trip, you drop your knees and you take all your push-ups with your knees down. Totally cool. Activate your legs. Maybe you've gone nowhere and you just need to drop your knees. That's okay too. Your eyes move to the front skinny edge of your mat and you plug down. Our nature here is to want to sink our hips. So draw your navel in and up. Lengthen your tailbone and run a lot of energy from the crown of the head all the way through the base of your heels. Drift a little bit more weight forward onto your tippy toes so you can really energize yourself here. Feel the thumb, the index finger, the baby finger press down. Keep your eyes moving forward, and on a very slow count, you're gonna lower 1, 2, 3, and pause in a low push-up. Your knees can drop. On a slow count, we're gonna push back up for 1, 2, 3, arrive back in plank. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. So slow it down, and if you need to drop your knees to get this more effective, do so. Roll forward plank like an ocean wave. That's a good thought. Our eyes move forward. You can drop your knees, it's the same effect. Slow count. 1, 2, 3. Halfway is where we stop. We pause. Slow count. 1, 2, 3, plank. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. One more. Roll forward plank. Do it slow. Feel what you're doing. Modify if you need. Slow. 1, start to lower. 2, 3, pause, draw your belly in, contract your thighs. Push back up slow. 1, 2, 3, plank position, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Moving from our dog, slide your right foot forward towards your right thumb. You're in a low lunge. Drop your knee on an angle, keep your toes curled into the mat. Sweep your arms straight out and up or up towards the sky. I really like drawing the hands kind of off-centered. We practiced this the other day. If your shoulders have something going on, then you can just opt to keeping the hands a little wider. But bring the palms together if you want to try that. Ground your outer right hip under you. Press your right heel pretty firmly into the mat. And then hug the triceps together as you press your hands, your palms firmly together. Last little bit, draw your belly in, your waist up, and breathe. So rather than dropping your neck back, just look up a little with your eyes. Yeah. Hands come to prayer at heart. Hands come down to the floor. Back leg lifts into a low lunge. Press through your hands and your triceps. Step to a dog. Just like that. And that's how you can move through all the vinyasas if you want. Step your left foot forward. Drop your knee on an angle. Keep the toes curled. I find it much easier. Sweep your arms straight up or out and up. Draw the hands to a prayer if you want to try that today. The left leg likes to wrap out, so grip your hip in, feel the weight in your left heel, hug into the center line, look up a little with your eyes, and feel your hands. Let your breath just flow. Soften your shoulders a little. If you notice they're kind of creeping up to your ears. Draw the hands to a prayer. Bring them down to the ground. Activate your back legs. You're in a low lunge. Step to a dog. Repeating this a few times with picking up the pace at your own pace. Right foot forward. Drop your knee. Arms straight, go straight up, out and up, or hands come to a prayer. Hands come down to heart. Hands to the floor. Activate the back leg. Downward facing dog. Left foot lands. Drop the knee. Arms out and up or straight up. My hands are coming to prayer. Hands to heart, palms to the earth, back leg strong, back to dog. We're just getting our psoas open. Slide your right foot forward. Sweep your arms up. My hands are in a prayer. Hands to heart, plant the palms, activate the back leg, step to a dog. It's almost like you have to drag your leg back. Left foot forward, drop your knee, bring it up. Hands to prayer, palms to the earth, back leg strong, step back downward facing. Look to the top of the mat. Step your right foot all the way forward, step your left foot all the way forward, hips width distance. Come to the fingertips, long spine, your weight must be forward. Your hands can also be in your shins. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Standing up with your feet hips width distance to get apart today. Contract your thighs, drop your arms, turn your palms forward. Let the shoulders draw down the back. So just a very basic mountain pose. Let the breath just run from the base of your feet through the crown of your head. Sweep your arms out and up or straight up. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Come to the fingertips, long spine, or hands simply to your shins. Let the shoulders slide down the back and your weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Sweep big. Hands to prayer at heart center. Drop your arms. Just like this a few times. Connect, arms up, reach big. Dive over bent knees. Let your weight move you forward. Come to the fingertips. Let the shoulders slide down the back. Perfect. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. Come out. Anchor through your feet, through your thighs, through your legs. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Again, arms up. Reach bigger. Dive over bent knees. Come to the fingertips, long spine. This time, take a big step back with your left foot. Plant your palms. Right foot joins. Plank. Good. Bend your elbows in half, chaturanga, and hold. Drop your knees if you need to. Slide your heart and your chest through for an upward facing. Press through the tops of the feet if you can. Good, and if you can always take a baby cobra. Let the shoulders slide down the back. Keep the neck long. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out, leave it behind. Roll forward to a plank position, strong in plank. You can always drop your knees if you need to. Let your right foot float an inch and flex your foot strong. So all I'm doing is letting my right foot float about an inch from the ground. My pelvis stays neutral, my belly draws in. Look forward, take your right knee towards your right tricep. It's not gonna actually touch. Just go in that direction. Keep gripping your belly in, feel your outer arms grip in. Slide the right foot back to a three-legged plank, just let the foot hover. Lower the right foot down, you're in a plank. Left foot floats, just an inch, flex the foot. Take the left knee, left tricep, just in the general direction. Scoop out the belly, press through the hands. Slide the left foot back, let it hover. Lower the foot. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Good morning to you too. Roll forward to a plank. Hug your right knee straight in. Yeah. Yeah, look forward a little and then step your right foot smack in between your hands. You've never been so happy to put your foot down, right? Come to your fingertips. You got to keep everything in perspective. Turn your back foot on a strong angle. I love a block or even two blocks if you want to be a little bit more forgiving. Hand to the instep of your foot, palm flat. I always tent my fingertips because I want to stay out of the shoulder. Press the back of your tricep into the inside of your leg and left arm up. So just look down and make sure that your feet are lining up, your heel to arch, most likely. Yeah. So you can also rest your arm on your thigh if this is too much. We can slide more than one block and create a lift. And it could look like this. Top arm can wrap forward today. If that feels good and healthy in your shoulder, if not, just keep reaching up with your top arm. Grip your right glute and hip underneath you. Turn your bottom ribs towards the sky. If you're outside, bring them up towards the sky. And then look up. Good, stay with this. If you want, your left hand can come to your hip. Pause here. You can stay with this. Let the shoulder kind of hug down the back or slide the hand around and take a half bind this morning. Lean back into the inner thigh. Look off the left shoulder. Grip your outer hip in. Few breaths. So I find in poses like this, it's early in the practice, you know, your mind starts to resist the feeling of your body, of the muscles working. Try not to resist. Try to just enjoy the feeling if that's at all possible. If you took a half bind, unravel the left arm up, straight up. Anchor your feet and without too much bounce, pull yourself into a warrior two. Sit deep, lengthen your tailbone. I read this funny quote about warrior two. It's something like your front arm is the past and your left arm is the future. Because it's like you always want to lean into the past, but instead like lean a little bit into the future. Right, kind of corny. Lengthen the tailbone, soften the shoulders, close your eyes if you'd like. Lean into whatever you can. That's kind of the times that we are dealing with. Lengthen everything. Feel your feet, feel your outer right hip, feel the strength of your left leg, and remind yourself the sensation that your body is creating is just a feeling, it is temporary. 4 more breaths. Beautiful job. Straighten the right leg, bring your hands to your hips. Pivot your right foot in so your feet are parallel, maybe a tiny bit turned in. Clasp your hands behind your back. If this is unavailable, hands on hips. Inhale the breath, lift the chest. Bend your knees a lot and forward fold. If your hands are not clasped, such as mine, you can just have your hands draped to the floor. Your hands can even rest on blocks. I'm going to really encourage you to move your weight into the front part of your feet. We want to avoid sitting into our hamstrings too much. Let the head go. If the clasped hands are okay, start to drop them further towards the floor, towards the base of your head. Move more weight forward. Your knees can be really bent in this pose if you need to. Draw your belly in and move your chest closer to the front of your thighs the best that you can. Let your thoughts go. Anchor your feet, feel them spread wide. Pull yourself up halfway, come the rest of the way up. Open up your arms wide. Your wrists are directly underneath your ankles. Keep your left leg the way it is. Turn your right foot forward. Reach with your right hand enough that your hand can slide to your shin. Left arm up, Trikonasana triangle pose. Just check in with your back foot that it's turned enough forward that your thigh can rotate a little. Yeah. Side body long. Anchor your feet. My front leg has a little bend, so it's never pinned straight. Your hand can rest in the front of your shin. You can always have your hand on the outside to a block. Grip your outer hips in. Focus on the length of the side of your waist. So these early poses setting us up for a really strong practice as we start to move faster in just a little bit. Look to the floor, circle both hands down. You're moving into an easy twist. You may need to walk your right foot to the right, slide a block underneath your left hand. Right arm extends up towards the sky. Grip your right hip underneath you. Focus on the strength of your back left leg. It's like a plank position. Let the two shoulders slide up and down. Look up with your eyes. Turn from above the belly button and twist open. Now, draw your attention to your back left leg. Keep it strong. Take your left palm flat if you can. You may need to drop your left knee for supported Vashisthasana, or turn that back foot and step right into a side plank. It should be very little movement to get you there. Lift from your bottom hip. Look up with your eyes. Top arm can wrap forward if you want a little more. Make sure the arm isn't coming in front of your face though. Spark up your toes, even if they're staggered or the bottom knee is down. Lift a little higher. Look down, plank position. Move through a vinyasa, or you can always opt out and just meet us in a downward facing dog. If you're taking the up dog, enjoy it. Good, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Roll forward to a plank position. Pause. Lift your left foot an inch, let the foot hover. Yeah. Flex the foot. Take your left knee towards your left tricep, towards your left tricep. Good. Slide it back to a three-legged plank. Lower the foot. Lift the right foot an inch. Take the right knee towards the right tricep. Slide it back to a three-legged plank. Flex the foot. Lower the foot. Stay with this, guys. Hug the left knee in. Scoop out the belly. Step your left foot all the way forward and through. Turn your back foot on a strong angle. Set yourself up for a B variation, extended side angle. So block to the inside. Right arm up. Modify with the left arm on the thigh if this is too much. Maybe wrap your right arm forward if you want a little more. If you want to add the half bind, start by reaching the top arm up. Slide your hand to your hip And then reach around and see if you can get that whole half bind. Lean back into the inner thigh, twist from your bottom ribs, and look off your right shoulder. So this is really a chest opener. You even want your throat to get a stretch. So if your whole body is dumping down, it's really hard to capture this. You really want to get this openness of the front torso. That's the goal, while opening up the hip. So the last little bit of this, rather than counting down, like the moments that you'll be getting out, try to just embrace the feeling. If you took a half bind, unravel the arm up, ground your feet, lengthen your tailbone as you pull up warrior two. Energetically reach across your body, lengthen the tailbone, turn up the energy from the inside of your left thigh to the outer part of that baby toe. Make sure your right leg is strong. A few breaths. Check in with your torso that it's not turning towards the front edge of your mat. It's straight up and down. Straighten the left leg on track. Take your hands to your hips. Pivot the left toes in. Yes, the feet are strong. Interlace the hands, opposite grip. Inhale the breath. Bend your knees significantly. Exhale, fold. If your head hits the ground, that means that your stance needs to come in a little tighter and a little closer. So shorten your stance. If the bind aggravates you, release the hands and just have them on the floor. Drop the clasped hands closer towards the ground so you get the shoulder opener. Let the head go. Come up halfway. Come the rest of the way up. Anchor your feet, open up your arms wide. They should be right underneath your ankles. Keep the right foot where it is. Turn the left foot out. Find your triangle pose, hand to shin or to a block. Make sure your back foot has got enough of an angle. A block to the outside of the calf can be very helpful. Side body long. Two shoulders stack. Anchor the feet. This is not a back bend. It's more of a twist than anything. Hamstring opener, working the obliques. Find some lightness. Look up with your eyes. Holding yourself up in space. Breathe right here. 2 more breaths. Look down with your eyes. Circle the hands to frame your front foot. Peel your right hand down. Walk your left foot over into an easy twist. Activate your back leg strong. You can always drop your knee. You can reach for a block. But set yourself up here like your back leg is in a plank. Grip your left hip underneath you. Now let's focus on our back right leg. It's really strong. See if you can slide your right palm and get it flat to the ground. Wrap and grip your right tricep in. Roll to the outer blade and move slowly into your side plank. It shouldn't have to be a lot of work. I made mine a little sloppy this morning. Stack the hips, slide the left arm up. Modify with the bottom knee down if you need to. And just pay attention that your top hip isn't leaning back. It's stacked over your bottom hip. Lift a little higher, maybe look up with your eyes. That sometimes helps with the last little. Look down, plank position. Slow vinyasa, or you can meet us right in a downward facing dog. It's up to you. Up dog should feel good if you're taking it though. Nice, Reg. Hips up and back, downward facing. Without any thought, glide your right foot forward, activate your back leg, bring it up to a crescent lunge. These can be modified with your back knee down if you want to take it a little easier this morning. Hip points are forward, front leg is bent in half. You're sitting into the thigh, not the knee. Hands to frame your front foot, plank position. Bend your elbows in half, chaturanga. Drag yourself through a clean up dog. Hips up and back, downward facing. Land your left foot forward. It's a pretty big, long stance. Integrate the legs and come up, high lunge. It's almost like you're holding a block in between your hands. Hands right down to the floor. You're set up for a plank. Bend your elbows, chaturanga. Drag yourself through an up dog. Hips up and back, downward facing. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Look where you want to go. You can step, you can float, you can crawl, however you need to get there this morning. Arrive, long spine at the top, fold in half, sit into a chair pose. I think the pose that creates the most resistance for us, sit deep. You can separate your feet hips width if lower back is sensitive. Move the energy into your heels. Let your shins slide back. Sit a little deeper. Yeah. Press all the way up to a standing position. Drag the hands to prayer. 3 sun Bs with crescent lunge today. Arms slide up. Sit into a chair pose. Dive over, bend knees, forward fold. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Step, step, or float through your vinyasa. This is where you can just step to a dog too. Upward facing if you're taking it. Downward facing dog, hips press back. Right foot forward, activate and rise, high lunge. Hands come down to a plank. Vinyasa or skip. Up dog should feel good though. Hips up and back, downward facing. Left foot lands, high lunge, crescent lunge. Hands to the floor, vinyasa. Upward facing dog, you can smile. Yeah, you remind yourself of that and it gets better. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Look where you want to land, step or float your feet to the top. Long spine, keep that weight forward. Exhale, fold, sit into a chair. Where your eyes go, your body follows. If you're looking down, you just want to go down. Look forward and up a little bit. Dive right over bent knees, forward fold. Let's keep it going. Long spine to set it up. Step or float, vinyasa. When you arrive in your dog pose, slide your right foot forward, crescent lunge. Hands down, move through your vinyasa that works. You can just be taking slow push-ups too. You could skip the up dog. Left foot forward, crescent lunge. There's so many ways to do this. Bring it back down, vinyasa of your choice. When you arrive in downward facing dog, pause and breathe. Take a nice full inhale breath. Look where you want to land. Step or float, feet to the top. Long spine right here, weight stays forward. Exhale, fold. Sit again into a chair, weight moves into your heels. Look forward with your eyes. Really thick eyes. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Step, step, or float through your vinyasa. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot forward, crescent lunge. Let's hold here. Yeah. Look forward with your eyes. Activate your back leg. So your hip points, if they're going down, you're going to be going into your lower back. So you want to move your hip points forward. Sometimes it even is a manual adjustment that you need to do. Sometimes you need to bend your back leg a little to get your hip points forward. So do your best work there. Reach up with your arms. Drag your hands to a prayer. Inhale your breath, lean forward just a little bit. Hook the elbow, let's take the twist early today. I don't know if that's good or bad, but we're taking it now. Activate your back leg, or simply just drop your knee if you want to kind of opt out of the intensity of it. Lengthen your tailbone. Lean back a tiny bit, maybe open up your arms. Ideally, the crown of the head lines up with your left heel. Yeah. Grip your right hip underneath you. Feel the weight in your right heel. Feel the strength of your back leg. Look up or look sideways, but let's avoid looking back because it's going to round us. 3 more. Look down with the eyes, place both hands to the floor. Walk your right foot to the center of the mat. Spring your left foot forward to meet your left, so your feet are together or simply have a little separation. Long spine on the inhale breath. Exhale, fold over yourself. Sit again into a chair, sweep your arms up. Move your energy into your heels. Drag your hands to prayer. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow, turn to the right. Look down and just make sure your feet are together, your shins are lining up, your knees are lining up, and that your whole body is then kind of moving to the right. Open up your arms if you're looking for a little bit more of a chest opener. But always come back to that breath to make sure you can breathe successfully into the pose. Move the weight into your heels more. Stay engaged in your legs, pull around to a chair. Drop your seat a little deeper. You should feel something kind of juicy here. Look forward with your eyes. Press up to stand. Drag your hands to prayer. Stand for a second. Move the weight onto your left leg. Bend your right leg in half. Just do this. You can grab the front of your right knee and you can stay with this. If you like, you can grab down and grab your big toe. So it should look like this. You shouldn't really be bending for it. So hand to the front of the knee or big toe. Left arm slides up. Right leg extends out if you're looking for more. Soften your right hip though. Draw your right shoulder back into the socket. Fix your eyes forward and grow from the left side of your body. So your right leg that's kicking forward, if you chose that option, can have as much of a bend in it as you need. You can also opt to just bend the knee. Keep the shape of your right leg moving forward. Switch the grip for me. So you're gonna go into the dancing Shiva version. My leg here, I'm demonstrating it with the leg straight, but it can be done with the leg bent in half. Reach the right arm back like you're splitting the mat in half. Stand up tall. It's like warrior 2 arms. Flex the foot, lengthen the crown of the head. And if you fall, just join us again. Keep the lift of the leg or keep the leg bent in half, move your eyes forward. Bring both arms up. So my arms are up and my leg is lifted. Rebend the right leg, 90-degree angle. Float through a warrior 3, but giant step back crescent lunge and do your best work. Sometimes I get here and I need to actually place my hands down. Take a second, pause, reset, and then come back up. That's okay. Look forward with your eyes. Just be here for a second. Heart rate might be up. You might be getting a little sweaty if you're in a bathroom. Yeah. Hands to prayer at heart center. Inhale the breath, lean forward a little, hook the elbow and turn towards the left. And you can drop your knee too. I'd rather you drop the knee than have your weight like all the way back like this. Yeah, keep the weight really forward or have the knee down. It's almost like you're using your right elbow to encourage the thigh to not open. And then open up your arms if you want more, but only if you can breathe. Lean back a little bit. Yeah. Grip the outer hips in. Last 3 breaths, I know. Look down with your eyes, take both hands to the floor and pause. Just pause for a second. Walk the left foot to the center of the mat. That's just for proper alignment. Spring the right foot forward. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Fold over yourself. Sit again, chair. Weight into your heels. Drag the hands to a prayer. Inhale that breath and turn to the left. So sometimes in these poses, you don't have to feel like you need to go like 150% into the pose. You can be half in and just kind of work in a really modest way, focusing on your alignment, just keeping your breath collected. You want to be in a place that you know you can hold. Feet together, shins together, knees line up. Open up your arms if you want a little bit more action. If not, just hang here with me. Move that energy into your heels. Keep the shape of your legs if you can. Pull around to chair. Strong in the legs. You've got this. Press up to a standing position. Bring your hands to a prayer. Drop your arms. Just stand for a moment. Good work, everyone. Stick with the flow. Right leg strong. Left leg bends up. Just do this much. So if your balance is kind of shoddy, this is a good place to be. Hand can just rest on the front of the knee, or you can grab your big toe. Right arm can slide up. Extend the left leg forward. When the left leg extends forward, practice softening your left hip. Let the shoulder draw back into the socket and then reach up with your right arm. Lengthen your tailbone. Try not to lean back or go into your lower back. Wherever you are is where you need to be right here. Keep the shape of your leg either bent in half or straight forward. Change the grip. Grab the outer part of your foot or the outer part of the knee. Reach the left arm back. Run a lot of energy through your torso, through your legs. Stay with it. Keep the shape of your legs. Pull around, the leg out in front of you, arms up to the sky. Lift a little higher. Rebend the leg to a 90-degree angle. So listen, guys, you're going to float your left leg back, and this time you're going to step back to warrior one. And if you need to, you may need to just take a second, bring your hands to your hips, and kind of walk your right foot out, bend into your front thigh, make sure your back leg's on a strong angle, and then revisit the arms up. And then just pause in warrior one. Something's going on in the body and this doesn't work for you, you just opt back to crescent lunge. Drop your arms by your side body, interlace your hands, puff the chest open, grip your right hip in, inhale your breath, come forward, humble warrior. A few different ways to take humble. Most importantly, your hips need to be moving forward, your left ribs and left thigh turn forward. So if you look back, your left toes are almost completely forward. Yeah. Your stomach can just rest on your thigh here, or you can snuggle your right shoulder into the instep and go deeper. Let the head go and then let the dropped hands drop down. This is kind of what we were working towards from the early part of the practice. Grip your outer hips underneath you. Stay with the breath. So the right hip wants to wing out, just kind of the nature of our bodies. Keep gripping that hip underneath you. Stay with this. Press strongly through your feet. Feel that. Start to pull yourself up. Warrior one. Sweep your arms out and up. Straighten your right leg. Keep your arms up like this. Step your back foot in about 2 inches. So your arms are really high up and your feet are about 3 feet apart. Yeah. Your back toes are pivoted forward. Right hand on your hip. Left arm extends up. Come halfway down. Move your right hip back. Come the rest of the way down into twisting triangles. So you're going to use a block here. I don't know what anyone who goes in ends up dumping. So find a block, any position that works for you. Collect your right hand on the flat part of your back and pause here. Steer your hips back. Lengthen your spine. Look to the right. If you feel that you have a lot of openness through your chest, try to extend your right arm up. It may or may not work for you today. Feel your feet, feel your inner and outer thighs, and then breathe. So this is one of my favorite postures, but I find that when you get to this pose, if you have to do all the work beforehand to really get the pose to be, successful. So feel your feet, feel your inner and outer thighs, feel your hips moving back, and then enjoy the twist. Another big breath in. Stay with this. Good. Look down and just fold. Fold over your front leg for a moment. You can do anything you want with your hands. They can be directly underneath your shoulders. You can walk them back. This is going to give you a greater hamstring release. But let your head go wherever you choose to be. Place the hands directly down. Step to a downward facing dog. When you get to your downward facing dog, you have the option. Roll forward to a plank. Bend your elbows in half, chaturanga. Drag yourself through a clean upward facing. Pause here. If you want to add some intensity today, rebend your elbows, curl your toes, chaturanga. Draw your navel in. Press up plank, downward facing dog. Land your left foot forward, turn your back foot on a strong angle. Come on up, warrior one. Hang with the flow, we're almost done. Back leg is strong and pretty much turn forward. Drop your arms by your side body, interlace your hands. See if you can pick the opposite thumb and opposite baby finger. Squeeze the shoulder blades a little together. Inhale the breath, exhale, fold. So remember, you can just come and rest your stomach on your thigh and really just focus on the alignment. Steer the left hip back, right thigh and right ribs forward. Or come deeper into the pose so your shoulder kind of snuggles in. Let your head go. Let the clasped hands drop down. Feel the outer blade of your back foot press down into the ground. Grip your left hip. Continue to do that. It's a lot of good work underneath you. Strong legs, strong core. Start to pull yourself up. Warrior one. Extend your arms up. Good. Arms are strong. Triceps wrap in. Straighten the left leg on track. Step your right foot in about 2 inches to about 3 feet between your 2 feet and their hips width distance. Slide your left hand to your hip. Lengthen through the right side of your body. Come halfway down. Pause. And then come the rest of the way down. If you don't have a block, your hand can just rest on your shin. My left palm comes to the flat part of my back. Steer the hips back and then begin this powerful twist. Top arm can open. This looks great. Anchor your feet and your legs. Really nice. And in the moments that you get stuck, come back to just a full inhalation through the nose and a full exhalation. And get out of the idea of where you think you need to be going and just be here in this moment because you're going somewhere. You're doing something. 2 more breaths. Look down, place both hands to the floor and enjoy the fold. Hands can just walk forward. They can be underneath your shoulders. You can start to slide them back. Let the head go. Good. Bring the hands directly down underneath the shoulders. Step back into a dog. Roll forward once again to a plank. Bend your elbows in half for your chaturanga. It's just kind of just cleaning our energy up. Upward facing slides you through. Move back into that chaturanga from the up dog if you want. Plank position. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Drop to your forearms right here for a dolphin pose. Dolphin pose, your elbows must come in a little closer. They're not as wide as the mat. Palms go flat. Creep your feet in a little closer, tighten up your stance, let your head go. 60 seconds right here in your dolphin pose, forearm plank, or if you have an inversion in your practice, this would be where you want to go up and kind of move that energy. If none of these things work, you can go to a wide straddle. I will demonstrate right here. And just hang upside down. This really moves your energy, actually. And you could just be like this. This is considered an inversion, everybody. So dolphin pose, forearm plank, some sort of inversion. Go to a wall. Halfway there. Last 15 seconds. Wrap the outer arms in if you're in a forearm plank or a dolphin pose. Draw the hips up off the shoulders. Breathe. Drop to your knees, child's pose. Slide your arms forward. So like we started the practice, just coming back here, regrounding yourself. Press up onto all fours, tabletop position, and stand up on your knees. And just pause like this. So you're standing on your knees, your hands are on your hips, okay? Step your right foot forward to a 90-degree angle. So it looks like this. If you need to pad underneath your knee, do so. So you're creating a box with your front leg, and your back leg is straight up and down. Your arms are gonna drop by your side body. Clasp your hands behind your back like we've been doing. Inhale the breath, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and rather than just pushing your hips forward, slide your hands down the back of your thigh and pause. Broaden the throat and the chest. Grip your right hip in. This is, I'm breaking down camel for you. So be here, 5 breaths. Lengthen the tailbone. Activate your right heel. Slide the hands down a little further. Good. Start to pull yourself up. Hands to your hips. Right knee next to left knee. Just stand on your knees. Just take a breath in. Take a breath out. Stand on your right knee now. Create a box with your left leg. Drop your arms. Interlace opposite grip. Last time today of grabbing the hands like this. Inhale the breath. Exhale, start to slide the hands down the back of the thigh. So if you notice, the lift comes from the upper thoracic spine, not going into that lower lumbar. Yeah, squeeze the shoulders, lift the throat and chest a little, look up with your eyes. Less is more here. Maybe moving a half an inch, and that is fine. Feel the left heel, squeeze the left hip underneath you. Start to pull your torso up. Hands on your hips, left knee right next to right. Stand up tall. One more time today. Curl the toes into the mat. Hands on your lower back. Work your fingers up your back, just like this. So flip the palms so they work up the back. Squeeze the shoulders. This may be where you stay. My toes are curled, or the tops of the feet can be flat. Lift through the throat and the chest. Slide the hips forward so they're in line a little bit more forward, in line with your thighs. Inhale your breath. Exhale, pause here. If you'd like to move on, right hand to right heel, left hand to left heel. More intensity, tops of the feet will be on the ground. Look up with your eyes. Slingshot your hips forward. Very slowly, hands to your hips, start to come up to a standing position. Curl the toes into the mat. Pause. Hands out in front of you. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, swing your right knee forward into a half pigeon. We're gonna do a full wheel after this. So let's just release the hip. Half pigeon pose. Fold yourself down. Rotate the left side to the ground. Let the head go. If this feels funky for you somewhere in your body, you can always go onto your back and thread the needle. Showing the option here. Stay a little longer. They say it's good for you. So when you move to the other side, do it like you're sleepwalking to the bathroom in the middle of the night. Like really let your body just move slow. Curl the toes, slide your hips up and back, down dog, and sleepwalk that left leg forward, half pigeon on the other side. Don't hold back here. Just let yourself melt into it. Use the strength of your body. Start to slowly come up. Lean all the way down to the left butt cheek and swing your right leg around. Make a shape with your legs that looks like a mountain. So your feet are, find a space for you that they're not too close and they're not too far. Hands can rest on the front of your shins and your spine is straight up and down. So it's kind of like you're setting up for boat. Well, that's what you are doing. Good. So from here, you're going to slowly just reach your hands back. Yeah, like you're going into reverse tabletop. Or you can tent the fingertips out. Find some extension with your upper body that you can lift your legs up, and you're really just focusing on your core. Maybe your arms are back behind you. Maybe your arms are tented out to the side and they're kind of up on the fingertips. Draw the belly in. So focus on straight up and down with your spine and 90-degree angles with your legs. Flex your toes. Draw your belly button to the front of your thighs. Lift your collarbone and your throat. Look up with your eyes. Good. Start to slide your palms flat down right next to your two butt cheeks. So now your chest is lifted, your shoulders slide down in your back. Start to lower slow to an Ardha Navasana. Now I'm hovering my whole body. My lower back is down. My shoulders are lifted, so I'm scooping out. If this does not work for you this morning, straight up and down any angle with your legs. Hold here. Spark up your toes, scoop out the belly for 5, press down for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Release. Bend your knees. Take your feet flat to the floor. Fingertips skim the backs of your heels. Lengthen your tailbone and lift up for bridge pose or supported bridge. I guess I lied. If you want to clasp your hands here, you can one more time and scoop out the shoulders. Wrap the thighs under you. Keep your feet grounded into the mat. A block underneath your tailbone is a great expression. Exhale the breath, lower down. If you've chosen the block option, you're welcome to stay. Everyone else, just relax their lower back. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Set up for one final back bend of your choice. Flip the palms over your shoulders. Bring your chin to your chest. Take a giant breath in. And on the exhale breath, try and lift up. If you don't normally go up, you may have a little more opening in your chest day, so you can give it a whirl in your hip flexors. When you get up, turn your feet forward, wrap your thighs in. When you are ready to exit, nice Dara, tuck your chin, come out with control. If you're on a block, lower your feet down, move any objects out from underneath you. Squeeze your knees in, give your legs a little squeeze of gratitude. And then keeping the knees in tight towards you, drop them over to the right. You have kind of to shimmy your hips a little to the left and bring your torso and open up your torso like cactus, your arms. Just a supine twist with the two legs together, please. So your legs are going right, your gaze is going left. Nice. And then you'll come through center and you kind of just move your hips to the right to get your legs to the left. Yeah. And ideally, we want our hips and our knees to be in the same alignment. Come up to center when you're ready. And set yourself up. This is the hardest pose to do at home, but really this is what the practice is kind of all about. Shavasana, complete rest. You're at home, make yourself comfortable, grab a pillow from your couch, put it under your head, under your thighs, turn your feet open, let your palms face open, and just let it all go. Take a deep breath in. Take a loud breath out. If you need more time, ignore me. Reach up over the top of your head, hug your knees in towards your chest. And move yourself to a seated position or simply just stay down. When you come up, sit up really tall. Feel the work that you put in this morning. Feel how your energy level most likely it's changed. It's pretty neat. Keep your eyes closed for a second. Bottle that up. That is good stuff. Bring the hands to prayer. Bow your head. Thank yourself for your hard work and your time this morning. Lift your head, open your eyes with gratitude to you all always. Namaste. Catch you next time.